Good morning, and welcome to the Jack Murdock Show, a podcast about ordinary people telling extraordinary stories. This week, I sat down with a close personal friend of mine. He was kind and brave enough to reflect on some of the demons of his past with me. But make no mistake, this is a story of hope. Without further ado, here's Drew Shaver sharing his journey to sobriety. Drew, thank you so much for sitting down with me today. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, Jack. Thanks for having me.
How you doing, all right?
I'm good, man. How about you?
Very good, very good. All right, so jumping right into it, would you say that you had a happy childhood?
I had a wonderful childhood. Great parents, great home, good friends. Never needed anything. Everything was there for me.
Sounds like you look back on it pretty fondly. Were there any low points?
Yeah, when I was about 12 years old, my parents decided to split up, and that affected me in a few different ways.
Would you say that was something that pushed you to try drugs and alcohol?
Well, it definitely affected me in a certain way, and I started to notice things about my personality where I became addicted to everything that I got my hands on, even at a young age.
What was the first thing you tried and how old were you?
The first thing I ever tried was a beer at 12 years old.
How did it make you feel?
Felt like I was comfortable in my own skin for the first time in my life.
When do you think you truly recognized the severity of your addiction?
Well, in my later teen years, I noticed that I was doing drugs that my friends were not attempting to do at all, and it just kept getting worse between Xanax, Percocets, acid, you name it, I tried it.
What was your breaking point? At what moment did you realize you had to change your lifestyle?
Well, when I was 19, I did go to rehab for the Xanax and pill problem, and I did stop doing them mainly because of the fear of fentanyl, but then I switched over to alcohol in the last few years.
What was the moment that you realized something needed to change?
One day I woke up, I looked around in my room, noticing all the beer bottles and vodka bottles, and I looked at myself, and I didn't recognize the man in the mirror.
Is that when you decided to go to rehab?
Yes, that morning I called my mom to let her know, and she knew it was a problem the whole time. She was just waiting for me to admit it. And then from there, I was in rehab.
What did you learn from that process? What were your early days of being sober like?
I learned that the man I wanted to be was always there. He was just masked in all these different problems. But when I finally subtracted the alcohol from my life, I started to realize that I'm not such a bad guy.
How long have you been sober now?
7 months and 11 days.
It's great, man. I'm really proud of you, and I know everyone else is too.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. It feels good.
Finally, to cap this off, if there was somebody out there listening to this who's experiencing some of the struggles that you've had, what would you say to them?
Everybody's rock bottom looks a little bit different. Even if you're at a young age and you feel like you have a problem, it's the best thing to do to get help. Do it now. Don't wait till your 40s or 50s when your liver's dying. Do it now.
Drew, thanks again for your time, man. Always good to see you.
Always good to see you, Jack. Thank you.
Everyone's rock bottom is a little bit different. Wise words from a good man. As someone who was close to the situation, I can tell you that Drew did not seem like the man of excessive appetites. When those of us who were close to him heard that he had entered a rehab facility, we were shocked. I don't think any of us realized how serious the situation was. Another classic example of how you never truly know what someone is struggling with. I urge everyone listening to check in on the ones you love. The simple act of being there for them may just be what pulls them out of their darkness. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next time. If you or someone you know is struggling with substance abuse, please call 1-800-662-HELP. The Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration's National Helpline is a confidential, free, 24-hour-a-day, 365-day-a-year information service for individuals and family members facing mental and/or substance use disorders. Help is available, so please don't wait.